Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, Hi, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. I hope you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk about all the trade rumors and the players, and I've not talked about some of these players. These are the players that are on the Bleacher Report. And I'm going to go through this list, about 15 names. Now I'm going to have another deal with my list, another updated list, that I added some of these names onto my list, and some players signed over the last couple of days, so I'll be able to sort of give you a more updated list. I would mention I have a channel called the Prospect Hut. I need you to go in there, if you will. It's all about Mets prospects. I need you to go in there and subscribe to that channel. I'm trying to get to 900 subs, and then of course 1,000 subs, but I'd really like to get that channel monetized fairly quickly. It's all ready to go, just need the subs. So I'll put the link in, hit that subscribe button. So here we go with this list. From the Bleacher Report, the best landing spot for each MLB player room to be on the trade block. We'll skip the preamble. And a lot of new names here. So bear in mind, we got a new group of players to talk about. Number 15, first baseman Jake Cronenworth, San Diego Padres. They say the best landing spot for him are the Blue Jays. The Padres tried out Jake Cronenworth as their regular first baseman this year, but to say it didn't work would be an understatement. Out of 18 players who logged at least 100 games at the cold corner, his .689 OPS ranked 17th ahead of only Jose Abreu. Well, that's not good. Made Abreu fall off the face of the earth, didn't he? This is nonetheless a two-time All-Star we're talking about, and one who could be easily worth the $80 million he's owed over the next 7 seasons if he goes back to second base. It came as no surprise when Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic reported that Cronenworth has been on the Blue Jays' radar. Even after agreeing to bring Kevin Kiermaier back, they still have money to burn and needs for infielders and left-handed hitters. Cronenworth, who's 29, checks both boxes, and his arrival would give Toronto the option of shifting breakout rookie Davis Schneider to third base. That's that guy with that weird porno mustache. He's got a weird mustache than that's the Cortez. Even if he can't hope to replace his defense, he can hopefully account for Matt Chapman's offense there. Other fits they say here is the Tigers and the Mets. I don't think so. The Mets are not a good fit. Number 14, Jorge Polanco, second baseman, Minnesota Twins. They say that the Giants are a good fit. One feels for Jorge Polanco's lower half. So have been banged up over the last 2 seasons, resulting in him playing in just 184 of the Twins' 324 games. But when the 30-year-old Polanco plays, he hits. His .789 OPS this year was par for the course, as was his .115 OPS plus that denoted him as 15% better than the average hitter. If the Giants aren't already in on Polanco, they should be. As good as Thairo Estrada was for them defensively at second, it's also largely on him. The only 3 teams did worse than the .625 OPS the Giants got from the Keystone. Though Polanco's contract is running short, neither his $10.5 million salary for 24 nor his $12 million option for 25 is unreasonable. And since there's only fringe contenders presently, it's to the Giants' advantage that this means not 1, but 2 chances to try to prove Polanco in a contending season. They say the other fits the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Max Kepler of the Minnesota Twins. They say the best landing spot for him is the Mariners. After he immediately celebrated signing a 5-year, $35 million extension, the career high 36 home runs in 2019. Down years follow for Max Kepler. I mean, you sign these contracts and you never know how these players are going to react. A lot of pressure. But in case anyone wasn't looking, the 30-year-old's back now. Kepler had an .816 OPS and 24 home runs overall this year. And he came out of the season especially hot by a way of .306 batting average, .377, .549 slash line, and 12 long balls in the second half. As for the idea to put Kepler, who will earn $10 million the following year of his contract in 24, on the Mariners, the writer says, I confess that I'm borrowing it from John Morosi. Trading away Jared Kelenic and then trading for Max Kepler has a bit of a robbing Peter to pay Paul feel to it. But it matters that Kepler's a right fielder and not a left fielder. The Mariners barely need an offensive upgrade right after the guys they used there ranked 27 with a 680 OPS this year. Now, I would mention, any player that's on a contract, unless you're Mike Conforto from 2021, you usually do well. Other fits for Kepler are Toronto Blue Jays and the Phillies. Next up, infielder, outfielder Christopher Morel. Now, he been linked to the Mets, but that's not happening. That's not happening. They said the best fit for him are the Guardians. The Cubs arguably shouldn't want to trade Morel. He's a power supply in a lineup that doesn't have a ton of it, as well as a versatile defender whose club control runs through 2028. It's too bad he strikes out 400 times a year. Yet when it comes to what Morel is actually good at, the list basically begins and ends with his power. He's too whip-prone to be a well-rounded offensive threat, and the catch with his defensive versatility is that he has yet to stand out at any one position. Well, that's not good. It means he's a DH. But if there's one team that should be trying to get at Morel's power anyway, it's the Guardians. 104 home runs they hit this year were by far the fewest in the league, with the Washington Nationals safely ahead by 27 homers in the number 29 spot. Other fits for him are the Red Sox and the Marlins. Next up, Shane Bieber. Now, Shane Bieber's an interesting case. There is word that the Dodgers are working out a trade for Shane Bieber and another player. And he's on that list too, on this list that I have here. And obviously, he's from the Guardians. Best fit they're saying here is the Rangers. As to how Morel could end up on the Guardians by way of a Shane Bieber trade would seem to be a real possibility. According to Morel, the Guardians and Cubs had at least talked about the 2020 American League Cy Young Award winner. There's nonetheless a caveat with Bieber. Well, too, one mentioned that he's got a contract going into 24, but his value is not very high. His velocity has shrunk, has gone down, and his strikeout rate has gone down too. The ideal team for the 28-year-old is one that's firmly in win-now mode, yet wouldn't need him to be a number one starter. Which brings us to the World Series champion Rangers. I would again mention the Dodgers. They also say here the Cubs and the Yankees. The next player is the other player that I've heard do a public source who's uses a burner account, and that's right-handed pitcher and reliever and closer of the Guardians, Emmanuel Clase. He's supposedly in line to go to the Dodgers in a blockbuster trade. They were working on a trade Tuesday into Wednesday, but they weren't able to sort of consummate the deal. And they were kind of holding out hope that they were going to announce Yamamoto getting signed there in Los Angeles. But what happened was they couldn't consummate the deal, and then the Dodgers basically DFA'd a player. I guess his name's Daniel Houston. And because of that, that trade did not come to fruition, but keep an eye on it. They say the Texas Rangers are the best landing spot. Also saying this article, the Dodgers and the Phillies, interestingly enough. I would think Arizona would be a good fit too, because they got a lot of young talent. Okay, here's number 9. God, I hope I say his name right. Second baseman Ha-Sung Kim of the Padres. They say the Boston Red Sox are fifth. After solid showing in 22, Kim took his offense to even higher heights this year. The 749 OPS set a new personal best, as did the 17 homers and 38 stolen bases. What Kim does best, however, is field the ball. He's fresh off winning his first Gold Glove after tallying 7 outs above average at second base, prior to which he racked up 8 OAAs at shortstop in 2022. Other teams they had mentioned in this article is the Giants and the Guardians. Jonathan India of the Reds. They're saying that the Mariners are a good place for him. Also, the Red Sox and the Giants are interesting places for him to go as well. Since the 607 OPS that they got at second base this year placed even lower than that of the Giants, the Mariners are another team that should be in on Polanco. The lineup fit would be less than ideal, however. Though Polanco is a switch hitter, this is how the article is written, he's typically a weaker hitter from the right side and thus not quite the right-handed presence he still needs even after signing Mitch Garver. John Benintendi is a better target for the Mariners, and not just even just because he's strictly a right-handed hitting second baseman. He also has a solid bat-to-the-ball skill, something the Mariners' president of baseball operations, Jerry DiPoto, is known to want for his lineup. Keep an eye on him. I'm just going to mention the name. Keep an eye on Jeff McNeil. He almost got dealt in the Edwin Diaz trade years ago. Jerry DiPoto's still there as general manager. Yes, the best fits for him are the Red Sox and the San Francisco Giants. Next up, number 7, Willie Adames of the Milwaukee Brewers. They say the Dodgers. Dodgers are very busy. But also they're saying the Giants and the Marlins. The Giants and the Marlins, they're all in on all these shortstops. The Giants had Brandon Crawford. He retired. And the Marlins looking for a shortstop. And also look at Tampa as well. A big name on this list. A new name. Christian Yelich of the Brewers. They're saying the best landing spot for him is the Blue Jays. As John Heyman said, the Blue Jays have been kicking around the idea of trading for Yelich. Anyone who takes issue with him, even on this list, has a fair gripe. But compared to, say, the New York Mets and Pete Alonso, it's far easier to imagine the Brewers being willing to listen if the Brewers or anyone else called about Yelich. Because if ever there was a time to get out of it 5 years he has left on his 9-year contract, it's now. After 3 straight down seasons, the 32-year-old looked more like his 2018 NL MVP winning self and posted an .818 OPS with 19 homers and 28 steals this year. And even if they still weren't what they once were, his underlying metrics were legit. They're saying here the Phillies and the Mariners on this list. Okay, number 5, Randy Arozarena, the Tampa Bay Rays. The most obvious name here and team name is the Mariners. I've heard them plenty of times. Also on this is the Padres and the Marlins. Here's another interesting name, Jesus Luzardo. How about Luzardo? Well, Luzardo for Arozarena. How about that? But Luzardo, best fit for him is the Giants. Teams that, again, like I said about the Orioles, they're going to be in on a lot of pitchers, but they're not going to sign anybody once they get the free agency. So they can be very careful who they trade. Best fits is Baltimore. Other fits are Baltimore and the Reds. Dylan Cease, which we've talked about. They say Baltimore again, same situation with the Orioles. The other names that are on this list, the Braves and the Giants. Framber Valdez. Well, I don't think he's going to get moved, but there's going to be a lot of talk about him. The perfect spot for him, they're saying, is the Cubs. And the other fits the Giants and again the Reds. And finally on this list, a pitcher. This is Corbin Burns. They say the best spot for him is the Yankees. And he expects to get traded. Teams to keep an eye out for him are the Giants and the Red Sox. I got a whole boatload of names for him. Almost all baseball for him. Other than teams like other than the Mets. By the way. Let's see the list on my list. The Phillies, the Cardinals. Maybe not so much the Cardinals now. Arizona. Maybe not so much Arizona since they signed Rodriguez. The Dodgers, I've heard a lot about the Dodgers. The Rangers, the Padres, the Giants, and the Angels. So, you let me know what you think about this video. You let me know where you think your favorite player on this list is going to go. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.